What if everything you thought you knew about time was a lie? Our society is built on the foundation of the Gregorian calendar, a system that dictates our work, our celebrations, and even our perception of the natural world. We rush to meet deadlines, adhere to schedules, and measure our worth by the relentless ticking of the clock. The true rhythm of life lies in the natural world, in the cycles of the sun, the moon, and the seasons. But the Gregorian calendar has severed this connection, imposing its artificial structure on the natural flow of time. The Gregorian calendar, far from being a neutral tool, is a system designed to control and manipulate. By dictating our perception of time, the Gregorian calendar controls our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately our lives. This structure is not based on any natural rhythm or cycle. It is a product of the industrial age, designed to maximize productivity and profit. We are conditioned to accept this structure as normal, even natural, but it is nothing more than a tool of control. To understand the true nature of the Gregorian calendar, we must journey back in time to the era of ancient Rome. Caesar, eager to solidify his grip on power, decided to reshape the calendar, aligning it with his own imperial ambitions. Prior to Caesar's intervention, the Roman calendar was a chaotic jumble of months, with misaligned seasons and intercalary periods. Thus, in 46 BC, the Julian calendar was born. The Julian calendar, despite its flaws, held sway for centuries. By the 16th century, the calendar had drifted out of sync with the solar year. Pope Gregory XIII decided to take matters into his own hands. The result was the Gregorian calendar, a seemingly minor adjustment to the Julian calendar, a mere 10 days removed to bring it back into alignment with the solar year. One of the most insidious aspects of the Gregorian calendar is its disregard for the natural cycles of the moon. Ancient cultures recognized the profound influence of the moon on all aspects of life. But the Gregorian calendar, in its relentless pursuit of solar accuracy, has all but erased the moon from our collective consciousness. Its months are arbitrary divisions, devoid of the deep meaning and symbolism that once imbued them with power. Our modern world runs on a strict timetable, but this obsession with time is not a natural human inclination. It is a carefully cultivated mindset, imposed upon us by a system designed to control and exploit. Thinkers and authors throughout history have warned us about the dangers of allowing time to become our master. Jeremy Rifkin, in his book Time Wars, argues that time is the primary socializing tool and the clock is the key machine of industrial capitalism. From a young age, we are indoctrinated into this system of time control. Our education system functions more like a factory, churning out obedient workers who are conditioned to follow orders and to conform to the demands of the system. Samuel L. Macy observes that people can be characterized as wound up, run down, rusty, or going like clockwork. This mechanistic worldview reduces us to mere machines, cogs in a vast industrial system. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of our time-controlled society is the 7-day week. José Arguelles describes the week as a 7-day straitjacket that constricts our souls and stifles our creativity. The 7-day week is not a natural rhythm. It is a human construct, imposed upon us by those who seek to control our time and our energy. It is a tool for breaking down our natural rhythms, for disconnecting us from the cyclical flow of nature. The symbolism of the clock itself reveals the true nature of its power. David Icke points out that the anchor is composed of 2 Egyptian hieroglyphs. The Ankh, a symbol of life, and the boat of the dead, which carried souls into the afterlife. This juxtaposition represents the power of the clock to control both our physical and spiritual lives. The Gregorian calendar is the anchor that keeps us tethered to a materialistic, linear view of reality. The natural world operates on a series of elegant and interconnected cycles. The sun, the moon, and the stars move in predictable patterns, their rhythms shaping the seasons, the tides, and the very fabric of life itself. Ancient cultures, deeply attuned to the rhythms of nature, recognized this truth. They understood that time was not a linear progression, but a cyclical dance, a never-ending spiral of birth, death, and renewal. But the Gregorian calendar has imposed upon us a linear, mechanistic view of time. The sun, the source of life itself, marks the most fundamental cycle of time, the day. The moon, with its subtle yet powerful influence, governs the tides and shapes the lunar month. The stars, too, play a role in our understanding of time. These celestial bodies offer us a far more elegant and harmonious system of timekeeping than the artificial constructs we have created. The clock, with its relentless ticking, has become a symbol of our modern, time-obsessed society. The 7-day week, an artificial construct, further reinforces this tyranny. We have become conditioned to dread Mondays, to live for the weekend, and to measure our lives in a 7-day routine. This artificial system of timekeeping has disconnected us from our intuition, from our bodies, and from the natural world. We have become so accustomed to this artificial rhythm that we have forgotten the true meaning of time. The moon, in its cyclical journey across the night sky, holds a profound connection to the feminine principle. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, so too do women experience a natural ebb and flow in their bodies, a rhythm reflected in the menstrual cycle. Ancient cultures recognized this sacred connection. The Gregorian calendar, with its disregard for lunar rhythms, has disrupted this ancient understanding. While the Gregorian calendar dominates our modern world, other cultures throughout history have developed far more sophisticated and nuanced systems of timekeeping. The Mayan calendar, in particular, stands out as a testament to the human capacity to understand and align with the complex rhythms of the cosmos. The Mayans tracked the movements of the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars with astonishing accuracy. They understood that time was not a linear progression, but a spiral, a series of interconnected cycles that repeated in predictable patterns. The Gregorian calendar, with its artificial constructs and its disregard for the natural rhythms of the cosmos, has imprisoned us in a cage of our own making. We have become slaves to the clock, our lives dictated by the relentless ticking of seconds, minutes, and hours. But we are not powerless to change this. We have the ability to break free from this artificial system, to reclaim our connection to the natural world, and to rediscover the true rhythm of our lives. The first step is awareness. By recognizing the arbitrary nature of the Gregorian calendar, by understanding its origins and its true purpose, we can begin to loosen its grip on our minds and our lives. We can choose to no longer be bound by its artificial divisions, its relentless emphasis on productivity, and its disregard for the cyclical nature of life. The next step is to reconnect with the natural rhythms of the cosmos. By aligning ourselves with the cycles of the sun, the moon, and the stars, we can begin to tap into a deeper, more ancient understanding of time. The Gregorian calendar, with its rigid structure and its focus on solar cycles, represents only one way of perceiving and measuring time. Throughout history, countless cultures have developed their own unique systems of timekeeping, each reflecting a deep understanding of the natural world and the rhythms of life itself. These ancient systems, often dismissed as primitive or superstitious by our modern worldview, hold a wealth of wisdom that we have largely forgotten. Consider the Aboriginal Australians, whose profound connection to the land is reflected in their concept of dream time. For them, time is not linear, but cyclical, a continuous present in which past, present, and future are intertwined. Their stories, dances, and rituals serve as bridges between these dimensions, connecting them to their ancestors and to the eternal spirit of the land itself. One of the most striking examples of a timekeeping system that honours the natural rhythms of the body is the tradition of the Moon Lodge, practiced by many indigenous cultures around the world. This ancient tradition recognises the sacred connection between women, the moon, and the cycles of nature. During their menstrual cycle, women in these cultures would retreat to a specially constructed lodge, a sacred space where they could connect with their bodies, their intuition, and their spiritual power. This was not a time of shame or seclusion, but a time of honour and reverence, a recognition of the potent energy of creation and renewal that flows through women's bodies. In the Moon Lodge, women would share stories, songs, and rituals, passing down ancient wisdom from generation to generation. They would weave, craft, and create, their hands guided by the rhythms of their bodies and the cycles of the moon. This was a time for healing, for reflection, and for deepening their connection to the earth and to the divine feminine. The Gregorian calendar, for all its claims of accuracy and objectivity, is nothing more than a human construct, a tool that has been used to control, manipulate, and disconnect us from the natural world. But it is time to break free from this illusion, to reclaim our connection to the ancient rhythms of the cosmos, and to rediscover the true meaning of time. This is not about abandoning the Gregorian calendar entirely, but about recognizing its limitations and seeking out ways to align ourselves with the natural cycles of the sun, the moon, and the seasons. It is about slowing down, listening to our bodies, and rediscovering the rhythms that have guided humanity for millennia. We can begin by incorporating simple practices into our lives. Honouring the cycles of the sun. Wake up with the sunrise, eat our meals in alignment with the sun's journey across the sky, and wind down as the day transitions into night. Observing the phases of the moon. Track the moon's phases, noticing how our energy levels and emotions shift in accordance with its cycle. Use the new moon as a time for setting intentions, and the full moon as a time for releasing what no longer serves us. The Gregorian calendar's tendrils reach deep into our lives, its influence so pervasive that we often fail to notice its grip. Like fish in an ocean, we rarely question the nature of the water around us. We accept the artificial rhythms of the clock and the linear progression of days as immutable laws of nature. But a shift is occurring. A growing awareness is dawning, recognizing the Gregorian calendar as a tool that has disconnected us from the rhythms of the cosmos. This awakening is about seeing it as a system with limitations, a system that can keep us trapped if left unquestioned. The truth is, time is not linear, it is cyclical. The natural world reminds us of this constantly. The sun's journey, the moon's phases, the changing seasons, these are the true timekeepers. Reclaiming our time, sovereignty, is about transforming our relationship with time itself. Shifting from scarcity and urgency to abundance and presence. Rediscovering the joy of being, free from the tyranny of the clock. Reclaiming our power and becoming the authors of our lives. Living in accordance with our own rhythms and values. True freedom is choosing how we spend our time. Break free from chains and reclaim our birthright of time sovereignty. Thank you for watching this video from the Stellify channel. I hope you have enjoyed it and found it interesting. What are your thoughts on the Gregorian calendar? Could it be that these changes have been used to bring in more control to the human population? And what about the dates that we find ourselves celebrating, such as New Year's Day, which doesn't correspond to any solstice or equinox or anything natural at all? Please do let me know in the comments box below. If you have enjoyed this content, I would be grateful if you could like, share and subscribe, as this inspires me to create more content.